Women have a rotation of dudes. Knowledge from Vegas, get back in here. Like, let's stop playing. Women are the weaker sex, and women are doing what men are doing, and women have been doing what men have been doing. Right? Women. Hey, you know what? Women are better liars. Women will tell you that. That's not sexist. Women are better liars. They will tell you, you guys are so dumb. Gosh, you know how stupid that lie was? Can't tell me you're a better liar and you don't lie. Where do you get to practice in? Women do team lying. Men don't do team lying. Well, some of us do, and it'd be dumb, and women figure it out. But women have a whole squad of people that will support their lie. She was here baking cookies. I'm just telling you the truth. Here we go. Reggie from Dallas, man, let me get your final thought on this.
The last thing is, man, I've listened to you for maybe 5 years, bro. Mm-hmm. I've answered hundreds of questions and put in a lot of work to be who I am. Mm-hmm. As far as just knowing what I like and why I like it. Mm-hmm. I couldn't imagine doing that with several other people. So monogamy is probably the only thing I can do because of the amount of work it takes to be happy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine that type of work with several other people. I just couldn't do it.
Right. No, it's
you know what I mean? And I'm just
crazy.
Being honest for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's crazy.
You know?
That's
man.
a lot. Hey, man, I appreciate you. You brought Austin, Texas in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me. 1-800-920-1580. Man, this is a heavy top. Let me get my brother Kurt from Pasadena, California in here. Kurt, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
How you doing, Zoe?
I'm alive and well, good brother.
Maybe we should consider mankind's DNA.
Talk to me.
The creation of mankind. Well, during the first iteration of the creation of mankind, before the flood, they used a vial of copper and lined with earth clay. But after the flood, when they created mankind again, they used a particular primate called the bonobo.
The bonobo, yes, the chimp.
That thing is the most insatiable creature on the planet. Mm-hmm. Our forefathers, we have bonobo. Bonobos start screwing around when they're 1 year old. Mm. I wrote a whole book about the creation of everything, so I'm well versed in all this.
Talk to us. That's why you're here, Kurt. Enlighten us.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that if we have that much DNA from a primate that has never believed in that's a part of our DNA, and I don't know how you can get past that through some kind of mind therapy or some kind of, you know what I'm saying? And I just don't think monogamy is a part. Now, we need to be monogamous. It's more intellectual, it's smarter. Mm-hmm. But I just don't think it's natural.
Wow. You know what's very interesting? And when you put the filter of the attachment styles and their subsequent attachment wounds on top of socially imposed, culturally imposed monogamy, what happens is when there is betrayal, there's a re-traumatization of what happened in their childhood, right? Because they pin all of their hopes on you to be this idea, this construct, right? And if you can't be that and you hurt somebody or they hurt you, man, it's almost impossible to get over it. Does that make sense?
If you say so. I listen to your show, but I haven't dated in 10 years, so I'm not even, I just listen to you guys on the
Well, you're going to be ready when you start to do it again. If you're listening to this show, you're going to be ready.
I don't date. I'm better off. Me and my spirit is just me and Big Kurt. That's all it is.
Right. Hey, that's the style of the chosen one. Typically, the chosen ones they stay by themselves, right? And
Yeah,
and
well,
and they're okay with that, you know.
I'm happy. I'm happy. Okay, good talking to you.
Hey man, Kurt, we appreciate the call. You brought Pasadena in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me 1-800-920-1580. Call me right now. Hey, what happened to Knowledge from Vegas? We want to talk to him too. But in the meantime, I got my homeboy Hustle on the line. Hustle from Miami. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
What's up, brother?
Man, what's happening, bro?
So this topic is a bit contentious. I think I might argue with myself on it.
Go ahead.
Uh, so first, I want to say we need to bring shame back.
Who?
You know, shame.
Shame, like
If you
SHAME.
that's
Shame.
it. If you're
Shame.
talking about if you're talking about monogamy, we have to talk about reason and incentive. Because if it's based around, let's say, romance, it's pretty well known women tend to lose romantic interest quicker than a man, as far as like sexual interest. And if we're talking about monogamy, we're talking about a lifetime commitment. So how are we preparing for all the different stages of life? Are we taking into account each other's nature through these stages? Are we really willing to sign up for what that means on a real level?
No. 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 Hustle? No. Listen, most people are in this ugly little tug of war with themselves. A piece of the subconscious pops up to get your butt back downstairs. They don't want to see themselves. So I'm going to sign up for forever with somebody that refuses to say, wow, I can't regulate my emotions. I'm hot and cold. I'm distant. Or I'm clingy. Or I need you to fill this gap that was created when I was a child. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to
And
deal with themselves. What makes you think? Listen, they might fantasize about somebody coming in and sweeping them off their feet. They might fantasize about meeting the one. And when they get the one, how long does the one turn into the two? How long
that
does it take?
that's my exactly, and that's my point. Even when you understand your wounds and whatnot, what do they look like over the long term of things?
No, no,
You
no,
know
no,
what I
no.
mean? Now,
No, no,
how
no.
many people?
Wait, I gotta
Uh,
push back on just that one point. When you start to understand your wounds, don't you know you're going in the right direction? You're healing. I'm
but
saying
that's my point.
the,
Go ahead, go
the
ahead,
the
bro.
rarity of somebody going, I understand where this comes from. Do you know how rare that is? I understand how I got to this point. Now, the next step is, what are you going to do about it? Do you see?
Deeper than that, after you do something about it, how's the other person going to react to that? Or are you even going to want to be with the person after that?
And did you get with them because they were a perfect supplement to how you were when you were unhealed?
Come on, man. How are we going to sign up when we don't even know what's at the end of the road? Like, you know what I'm saying? Forget the end of the road. What's around the corner?
Wait, Hustle, are you asking the question? This is a terrible question. Is the only thing about our connection that is compatible is our wounds? That's the only thing that's compatible? Our unhealed wounds? Nothing else? And once we start the process of healing those wounds, we might grow apart. The wounds was the glue? Don't tell me the
It's
wounds were, it was the glue. Come
it's a
on.
fair question, though, ain't it?
Woo, keep
If
going,
you
brother. I'm
if
listening.
if you want to make something last, you can't just. It's like, bro, you know how it is. If you into sports,
Mm-hmm.
if you putting a game plan together, they don't just think about the first move. They think about the next move. If the safety come over, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole plan involving. It's like what Belichick said. You play through all four quarters.
Mm.
We out here getting married, hoping we make it to halftime. You get what I'm saying? Come
No,
on, bro.
I hear you, brother. You ain't got. Hey, listen. You ain't got to explain it to me, brother. I'm with you 100%. This is crazy. Hey, brother, guess what you just did, man?
Back. That's all. I'm gonna leave it with that, man.
I don't know about shame. Before I let you go, I don't know about shame. Why shame? You think shame will keep people tame?
I think shame is a built-in mechanism that lets us know whether or not we stand in our integrity with what we're doing.
Does shame and integrity go together? Are they compatible?
I think it's two sides of the same coin.
I don't think. I don't know. Shame is a very low vibrational level of consciousness. A very low vibrational level of consciousness. I don't think shame is good. I think, listen, the slave master used shame in order to tame. And I think if you use shame to tame, listen, you're at a low level of consciousness. This is not good. I think that leads to trauma.
Oh, no. You talking about using it as a weapon. Don't take me that way. I'm talking about internal shame. I'm talking about what is that?
No.
What do you want to call it when you have your own self-conscious where you're like, oh, no, I don't feel right about this. I need to not look away from that feeling of shame. I need to acknowledge that and actually understand like it's trying to tell me something.
Yeah, nah, that's not cool. And I'm going to tell you why. No. Because I hear people, and I understand where you're coming from. That's the old school. I'm from the South, too. I understand what shame represents. You're talking about using shame as this energy that helps you keep your boundaries, that help you keep an integrous, self-disciplined kind of posture. If you got to use shame to do that, something is wrong. That's not good.
I think it's built in. We came with it.
No, I think
part of the design.
I think all of that's possible at a higher level of consciousness. You'll be surprised when you start to raise in consciousness. You'll be surprised the things that you thought, right, were good for you. You'll be like, oh, that was abusive. I was abusing myself. I'm a masochist. You start to realize that, and you start to realize certain behaviors, right, that you used to engage in no longer have any meaning. You start to transcend certain lower level vibrational. First off, what is cheating and infidelity? It's I want more. Raising consciousness, you'll realize I have all I need. Do you get what I'm saying? I want more is an extension of scarcity consciousness. I have all I need is an extension of oneness consciousness. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't need shame to get you to the space of I have all I need. Does that make sense?
I hate it because you're right, and I understand what you're saying with that. It's more so we have to talk in generalities.
No, we don't. That's the problem right now. That's why Future is one of the greatest ghetto rappers ever. Now, see, listen, when I hear Future, I don't hear the hood stuff he be talking about. You know what I hear? I hear Native American chants.
Okay.
Here's he. Hey, when he get to chant, nobody can chant like Future. And I'm listening to, I go, wait a minute, this dude sounds tribal. This is why he's a hit, and nobody understands it. They think it's mumble rap. No, this dude is conjuring. I'm standing around a fire with him, man. I'm beating on the drum.
But does the content matter?
But see, his content is what you're saying. Use shame.
They both hand in hand. Like I'm saying, you can't.
If ups and commas. If ups and commas. No. No. Hey, I love you, brother. I gotta push forward. Hustle from Miami, always giving me something to think about. If you want to jump into this conversation, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When I come forward, I still got a lot to talk about with my brother Carl out of New Orleans. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, just call 687-246-9655 to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Economic necessity, particularly if she was going to have children, to be with a man who would be the provider. And obviously that has hugely changed now. And for the man, it was a way to attach himself to children. If he was going to have children, he had to do that with a woman. She was going to raise the children. But if she was doing that, he had to provide for them too. And so there was this complementarity to that traditional view of marriage, which of course was founded on a very deep inequality between men and women. That was a driving force of the women's movement, including people like Gloria Steinem, saying the point is to make marriage into a choice rather than a necessity, and to actually free women from the economic bondage, as they would have put it, of marriage. And that inequality is what's been successfully shattered, gladly, by the women's movement.
Wow! Now he gonna throw the feminist curveball in there. Did you see that? Gloria Steinem, he went the other way. Oh, Lord. I'm merely saying, if you have one of these insecure attachment styles, it's going to be uphill battle. It's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be a struggle. The incompatibility of insecure attachment wounds with socially imposed monogamy, right, is a struggle. I don't think you guys understand. Like, this is going to be problematic as you move forward. Socially imposed monogamy has been upheld for centuries as a standard of relationship structure. But for individuals carrying insecure attachment wounds, this rationale model, or this relational model, often proves incompatible. Insecure attachment, including anxious, avoidant, and disorganized styles, is rooted in early developmental experiences and often plays a profound role in adult romantic relationships. These attachment patterns create distinct emotional dynamics that can clash with the rigid expectations and structures of socially imposed monogamy. On tonight's topic, we tried to peel all of this back, right? We tried to peel all of this back to give you a glimpse into why it's problematic and how it could be problematic. Of course, we're going to come from a philosophical, psychological perspective. But this is a struggle. Understanding insecure attachment wounds. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and later expanded on by Mary Ainsworth, posits that early interactions with primary caregivers shape an individual's expectations and behaviors in relationship. Secure attachment, formed in a nurturing and responsive environment, leads to healthy emotional connections. However, insecure attachment styles, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized, arise when early caregivers are inconsistent, neglectful, or abusive. I don't care if you walk down the aisle. If you're insecure, you've got issues. You guys have to be in therapy if you want the marriage to work. Anxious attachment is characterized by a deep fear of abandonment and a constant need for reassurance. What happens if you divorce an anxious preoccupied? Are they calling you 75 times when they get the paper? I can't believe that you would send this to me as much as I done for you. Oh, hell nah. They in the car. Anxious preoccupied is in the car. What? So, I just saw you yesterday. You couldn't have told me this. Next thing you know, the phone is going to voicemail. Right? Wait a minute. Right? Okay. Here's the avoidant, right? Avoidant attachment reflects a reluctance to rely on others, with an emphasis on emotional independence and detachment. So you had a secret bank account this whole time. So wait a minute. These divorce papers, hold on. These divorce papers are from 6 months ago. The avoidant done already broke up, done already got the paperwork. They just trying to find the comfortable moment. Disorganized attachment stems from trauma or inconsistent caregiving and manifests in chaotic, unpredictable emotional responses. Listen, I'm divorcing you. Okay, cool. Wait a minute. Wait, where are you going? Hold on. Don't leave yet. Well, you just said it's over. And but wait, sit down for a minute. I filled out the paperwork, but that don't mean we got to go through with it. Hold on. Don't read the paperwork. Let's talk about it for us. Wait a minute, you done already got the paperwork. So I agree with you. Let's get a divorce. No, I didn't mean it. Then you switch up and say, all right, let's work it out. Nah, I'm cool. Were you just trying to get me to say, let's work it out so you can, huh? What's going on? Disorganized. Hot and cold, back and forth. Most people, when they get married, they have no idea who they're marrying. They have no idea what they've been through. They don't know their attachment styles. They don't know their own. They don't know their partner. They don't know anybody. Let's get these callers. Carl, New Orleans, get in here.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
What up, brother? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I just wanted to introduce a couple of questions to consider to the topic.
Awesome.
Okay, so one question that I have is, if population control is an agenda going on, how does that affect the social construct of relationships, family life, and monogamy?
Oh wait, you got questions. Listen, you got some fire questions. You stay right there, Carl. We better make a little space for you, brother. We finna make some space. Stay with us. Carl from New Orleans is not playing tonight. He got a lot to talk about.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. 2 Phoenix, Arizona police officers involved in the beating of a deaf and blind black man have been placed on administrative leave. The department said the pair was put on paid leave on Monday, just days after body cam footage of the interaction was released. More details on a plan to bring affordable housing to Durham, North Carolina are expected this week. Proposed developments include buying land from Raleigh for 2 HBCUs. Jury selection could take the rest of the week in the trial of a Marine veteran accused of a deadly chokehold on a black homeless man on the New York City subway last year. The Manhattan judge warns even if someone has an opinion about the case, they could still be selected as a juror as long as they keep an open mind. And First Baptist Church of North Little Rock in Arkansas is celebrating 150 years. Founded in 1847 by Father Brown and 2 ministers, the congregation has grown and relocated several times. Pastor William Robinson now leads the city's first black church. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
John Legend here. How do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Ask your healthcare provider and book at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader. Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
Before running for state senate, Laura Richardson was named one of the most corrupt members of Congress, guilty on 7 counts of ripping off taxpayers and a pattern of deception trying to cover it up. Richardson is too shady for state senate. For your state senator, frontline nurses, classroom teachers, and Planned Parenthood Advocacy Project support Democrat Michelle Chambers, a champion for abortion rights, higher wages for workers, and more affordable health care. Democrat Michelle Chambers for state senate.
Ad paid for by nurses and educators supporting Chambers for Senate 2024, sponsored by labor and nonprofit environmental and health organizations, Ad Committee's top funders, SEIU California State Council, not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Before running for state senate, Laura Richardson was named one of the most corrupt members of Congress, guilty on 7 counts of ripping off taxpayers and a pattern of deception trying to cover it up. Richardson is too shady for state senate. For your state senator, frontline nurses, classroom teachers, and Planned Parenthood Advocacy Project support Democrat Michelle Chambers, a champion for abortion rights, higher wages for workers, and more affordable health care. Democrat Michelle Chambers for state senate.
Ad paid for by nurses and educators supporting Chambers for Senate 2024, sponsored by labor and nonprofit environmental and health organizations, Ad Committee's top funders, SEIU California State Council, not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Love had played his games on me so long, I started to believe I'd never find anyone. Doubt had tried to convince me to give in, said you can't win. But one day the sun came shining through. The rain had stopped and the skies were blue. And oh, what a revelation to see. Someone was saying I loved you to me. On one in a million, in life. Show compassion.
We are not a naturally monogamous species. We are a pair bonding species. But there's social monogamy, which is the pair bond, and there's sexual monogamy, which is never touching anybody ever again with your genitals. And we are not
We've never
sexually
split that
monogamous.
before.
No, we need to split it. All of these birds we used to look to and think, why can't we be monogamous like birds?
Like the eagles and the...
Yeah, certain geese and little birds that would mate. And they would mate for life, and we would measure our failure as humans to live up to the standards set by these damn birds. Well, along comes genetic testing, and we find out that these birds are screwing around on each other constantly. That they are socially monogamous, pair bonded, but they're not sexually monogamous. No primates with testicles our size are monogamous, sexually monogamous. Women, hidden menses. I'm not saying all this to say that people shouldn't go for monogamy if monogamy is something that they want. I'm not saying this to argue that people who made a monogamous commitment have license to violate that monogamous commitment.
And of course, that's what headlines would do when they hear a phrase that comes out of your mouth. Right?
And they do that.
Right.
What I'm saying is we're not naturally monogamous. It is a difficult struggle for us.
Wow.
Chris Ryan.
This is heavy topic. I think a lot of people's insecure attachment wounds either keep them monogamous, sexually monogamous, or not. I think it's the insecure attachment wounds. Fearful avoidant? Dismissive? Anxious preoccupied? It's all on the table. That's what I think. I think sexual monogamy, got to be a special person. They got to be on board. They got to check all the boxes. All your beliefs have to be in alignment. It's a lot of things that have to line up, or else you're setting yourself up for a deep betrayal wound, right? It's easy to be socially monogamous, right? Because that's the social game rule, right? Like New York says, hey, if you get caught cheating on your wife, it's a misdemeanor. Right? Oh, legal. I get a ticket. I have to pay for it. It could lead to divorce. It could be bigger, right? Okay, that's social monogamy. And remember, socially imposed monogamy is a part of the version of monogamy that the Westerners use. Western countries. But are you sexually monogamous? Not according to Ashley Madison, the website where married people go to cheat anonymously. That website is still up somewhere. Let's get Carl from New Orleans back in here. Carl, you were asking some heavy questions, and I definitely wanted to give you the space to be able to lay your questions out. So go with question number one once again.
Okay, I wanted to ask, should I ask them all at once, or should I ask them piece by piece?
One at a time.
Okay, so the first question was, if population control is an agenda that's going on, how does it affect family life and the social construct that we're living under?
You said population control.
Yeah.
And how is that in relation to the topic of monogamy? I want to see how you tie this in.
Okay, so if you look in China, which is considered the America of the East, they had, I'm not sure if it's still going on, the law that they had where you can only have 2 children.
Right.
And
boys were preferred, right?
Yeah. That would be considered a form of, I guess, population control.
Yeah, because they're suffering from overcrowding, right? Billions.
Yeah.
Right, billions. Where are they at? Where are they at right now? 1.4, 1.6 billion people, something like that?
Yeah.
Now, America, where are we at? 320 million, something like that? So do you...
I would assume so.
So, no, I'm asking you. Do you think we would need population control when our, society is nowhere near the numbers, sheer numbers? If you look at billion-plus populations on planet Earth, you're talking about China, you're talking about India, and you're talking about Africa. So, do we need population control here by using monogamy, or do you think monogamy keeps our numbers low?
I wouldn't think we need population control, but in regards to other things that's going on, it seems like that's the case in regards to the LGBT movement and many other things that kind of like do kind of like an opposite way versus forcing like China over here. We've been introduced to different forms of lifestyles that would reduce population numbers, and that's not. I don't think that's by accident. I think that's by with a particular purpose.
So,
behind
Carl, if I'm not mistaken, are you leaning towards polygamy as our natural state, where we should have as many wives, men should have as many wives as they can afford?
So no, I'm not. Kevin Samuels, the guy who's not with us no more, the agenda that he seemed to be introducing with this whole thing about high value male and stuff like that was men who would have other women who in those situations could possibly have more children. And I think that would be an example of living a life that a person who is financially well off would want to live versus a monogamous one.
So do you think those type of men could tip the population scale? I mean, you have to remember those men are in the minority. It's not a bunch of high-value men out there. When we say high-value men, we're talking about big-time sky ballers that could afford as many kids as they want ad infinitum. I don't think there are that many men out there. So I don't even see how that ties in.
So I would see the ideology trickling down into the population that's consuming that type of content. But
no disrespect to my brother Kevin Samuels. I've always said that the brother was he was good for a certain consciousness, right, when it came to relationship talk. But the consciousness level that I'm talking about is not better, it's just different. I'm in a different lane than what he talked about. For me, if I'm talking about marrying somebody, right, or if I'm talking about being in a monogamous relationship with somebody, I think we understand the vetting process when in fact we don't. If I don't know my attachment style, if I don't know my partner's attachment style, if I'm not doing any self-work, the relationship is in danger, regardless of how good it starts. Do you feel what I'm saying? Regardless of how good it starts off, that 18-month window, that honeymoon cycle, doesn't matter. At some point, my shadow is going to well up to the surface, and then we're going to have conflict. Now, how we deal with that conflict is going to determine whether this relationship has the legs to survive conflict. Now, understand something about dismissive avoidance. They have no place for conflict. They have no place for it. That's an attachment style. They see conflict as detrimental. They can't stomach it in any way, shape, or form. So that's why they're avoidant. And guess what? The fearful avoidant is both dismissive avoidant and anxious preoccupied. So in one side, the fearful avoidant hates conflict, but then on the other side, the anxious side will engage in conflict. So do you see what I'm saying? If you don't understand these inner workings that's going on, it doesn't matter if you get married or if you cohabitate, if you're monogamous. It doesn't matter. There's going to be problems. Does that make sense to you, Carl?
Oh, yeah.
All right, what's your second question?
Well, I was also going to say along with that, so I'm not a religious person who pick any religion or whatever, but to refer to the Bible for some of the information that's in it. When God promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob the greatest thing he can give them, it was to be fruitful and multiply, having the children and the offspring, as opposed to any money or gold or silver or anything. The greatest gift it seemed like God could give was the multiple offspring.
So kids, kids, this sounds like, okay, what's the question though? Is this about having more kids by having more women? Talk to me. I need to know if this is polygamy. Talk to me.
Oh, so it's not polygamy. It's because polygamy just like monogamy would be a social construct that to fit people into a box.
But what are you calling it?
Well, what my part of my question is the whole idea of monogamy connected to a form of population control?
So you saying just reducing it down to just one man, one woman, right? That was your first question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I answered that by saying America has a population of 320 million people. I don't know if America is concerned about controlling the population via marriage. Maybe food, maybe fluoride, right? Right? Maybe water. But do you think they would go as far as to say, let's create a social construct that would limit you to just one woman and one man?
Not initially. Not initially, but if we look at the most recent pandemic that happened, and look at its source, where it came from, and connected to a so-called like a situation that came like about 30 years ago with AIDS, the STDs and stuff like that. They both have, if you change the location and you change the animal, they have almost the same origin story.
But
and if something worked
you're
before,
asking questions, but you're not revealing your position. I want your position. Are you saying, because you formulated these questions, do you believe that America is using monogamy to limit the amount of children being born?
I think that is a piece of it. And I'm posing a question. I think that that's a piece of it. Because I think that for each individual has their own thing. Some people are better in monogamy, some people may not be. Some people have, to each their own cup of tea, pretty much. And when you create a system where everything is expected to be the same way, I feel like that's when you kind of like conditioning society to go in a certain direction.
I hear you. Hey, stay with me. You got one more question. When I come forward, I'm going back to New Orleans because I'm oddly intrigued by Carl. I want to know his third question. When I come forward, the voice of reason still got a lot to talk about.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Medicare open enrollment is here, and it's a time you can make changes to your health coverage. Yet, watch out for enrollment and marketing scams. Remember, Medicare will neither call you nor solicit your business. Guard your card. Never give out your Medicare number to strangers. Unsolicited calls, door-to-door visits, and emails are prohibited. Take your time. Don't feel pressured to make a quick decision. Report scams to our California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080.
Yeah, yo, come on. Pick up the drum.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
On a perfect day, I know that I can count on that's not possible.
There's been a general decline in marriage, but behind that general decline is a more interesting story. I think it's important we try to understand why people do get married in the first place. For some people, of course, it's a religious matter. It's a covenantal relationship. I think for many more people, there's an economic element to it. There's obviously the companionship and love. You fall in love and want to spend the rest of your life with someone. So there's a romantic element to marriage. And another reason was because they got pregnant. The so-called shotgun wedding. There was a sense that if you were bringing a new life into the world, that should be done within marriage. And there's probably a bit of status signaling too, sometimes, and this may be more true today than it was in the past, that being married is a way of signaling success and status within a society. And so there's a blend of reasons between religion, romance, economics, and status that have traditionally led people to the marital state.
Very interesting stuff. We got an interesting caller on the line. His name is Carl. He's calling out of Nolens. Nolens. Get back in here, Carl. You have one more question, brother. Talk to me. What is the question?
Okay, so the title of the show being One Love, One Marriage, the Flaws in Society's Push for Monogamy.
Right.
My thought about that is where does anything come from in regards to, or where does monogamy come from? And is it a religious thing, or is it a political thing, or is it, well, those are the two figureheads that create our society and stuff. And if those are what's held on to, for what purpose is it held on
to? Are you saying why did they create monogamy? Is that what you're saying?
I can assume I know why they created monogamy, but
right.
Relationship in general is with everything around us, including multiple people. The only thing that a monogamous relationship includes is sexual exclusivity. Because outside of that, anything else you can do in a relationship, you can do with a mother, a brother, a sister, a family member, from going to the movies to talking about personal things to, buying things together. All of these things, the only thing that's different with the intimate relationship is the sexual aspect of it.
So, you're talking about the history of it. It goes back to Greek times. Of course, there have been many. Humanity goes back to 150,000 years if you're talking about Homo sapiens. So I'm sure that there were some organically monogamous people. But for the most part, human society hasn't been monogamous. And of course, the Greeks came along and they made it a part of Western culture, right? And the monogamy that we look at, or that we're familiar with, is about 200 years old, 250 years old. So you're asking the question, why did they create it? Well, we played many clips throughout the show that illustrated why. You had one clip that talked about how they wanted to reduce sexually transmitted diseases. Right? And again, you have to remember, in American culture, marriage is a business. Monogamy is a business. If we're going to stay together, we got to be building together. We got to be working together. We got to bring something together, correct?
Yeah.
So, I don't know what answer you're looking for in particular. Are you saying that there's some kind of conspiracy to limit because this was all revolving around population control, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you pretty much answered my question just now with your response, and along inside of that with the reduction of STDs. My question partially was some of these STDs introduced in the same way that the recent pandemic was introduced?
You making this show about Wait a minute. We talking about monogamy, and you went to like. The COVID version of herpes? Are you saying that to me that sounds like an entirely different show? That sounds like a different topic altogether. Maybe I will do the show on loving with STDs. Maybe I'll do that show and we can ask that question then. But I don't think it fits into this particular topic. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I understand. And I agree.
Well, you know what, Carl? Man, let me just say, man, this is your first time calling in, man. I appreciate you for reaching out. I'm going to be back here tomorrow. Don't make me do the STD show tomorrow. Why not? I don't care. Let's call it the Burning Bush. I'll do it tomorrow. And let's get it cracking, all right?
I'm going to have to call back in then.
You got to call back in, man. We appreciate you. Carl from New Orleans. Good looking. I will do it. I'll do the Burning Bush tomorrow. You think I won't when I will? Yes, I will. Why not? We got to have real conversations. Don't be afraid to talk about it. I'm telling you right now. I start these conversations and I might throw a little splash of levity in there. But the reality of it is we got to have these talks. If your wounds are clandestine, I'm sure some other things will be clandestine as well. Listen, I'm not afraid to start the conversation. But are you afraid to finish it? Listen, I started, you finish it. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, always on fire. Tomorrow is my Friday. I'm back in the building with another slapper. Let's get it.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know from BIN News. Governor Roy Cooper announced the lifting of the essential-only travel ban in parts of western North Carolina. However, 400 roads remain closed and drivers are urged to use caution. Jury selection continues today in the trial of a former Marine accused of choking a homeless black man to death on a Manhattan subway train. Several dozen